Chapter 6. The Hall of Fame. This chapter encompasses multiple aspects of greatness. I explain the moment I initiated my passion and impacted the lives of notable alumni while also setting and achieving a goal that would cement my legacy. When we hear or read the term Hall of Fame, most of us only think about athletics. However, I want to impose a new thought, the mental Hall of Fame. This is composed of individuals or groups who have inspired you and provided the necessary spark or guidance to improve your life. I am proud to say that I am a member of my high school's athletic and mental halls of fame. Set a bar for yourself and then go over it. I wrote this during my senior year of high school as a caption for an Instagram post of me flying over a high jump bar. On October 14th, 2016, I went back to my high school to speak to a senior class of student athletes. This class was taught by Miss Lori Miller, a high school teacher of mine for accounting and sports management. Miss Miller eventually became an athletic director and one of the key teachers who wrote me a letter of recommendation and allowed me to use the school's fitness equipment after I graduated. On this occasion, she gave me the opportunity to speak about life after high school. This was my chance to give advice to the younger versions of myself by letting them know the possibilities of achieving their dreams despite the many negative temptations that would pull at them. Even with the fear of public speaking, I became the very thing that my peers and I did not have when we were in school. We did not have alumni who intentionally came back to give transparent advice about their journeys. As students, it would have been highly beneficial to hear from alumni who were doing the exact things we dreamed about as students. At the time of my speech, I was 19 years young, a third-year student at a prestigious college, and a top-ranked NCAA Division I athlete. I was also an accounting major and a two-time track and field national qualifier who essentially got paid to attend college thanks to an abundance of scholarships. Additionally, the day after my speech, I had an all-expenses-paid trip to San Diego, California for an internship interview with one of the top accounting firms in the world. Throughout my speech, I explained how I became this person so they could learn and apply my story to achieve their dreams and versions of success. I also made them critically aware of their environment and possible pitfalls. I saw how real life could get after high school graduation, and I did not want my audience of students to fall into the same sad cycle that some of my peers had fallen into. While still in high school, my guidance counselor told me and my mother that most students from my school tended to graduate and go away to college for about a semester, only to drop out and come back home due to factors such as limited financial assistance, the fear of their new environment, or the daunting challenge they felt academically and mentally unprepared for. I did not want to believe it until even I became the student who contemplated quitting because of the rigor and financial stress. I have witnessed far too many of my former classmates graduate high school and soon afterward go on to 1. Unexpectedly have children with unsuitable partners and without being prepared to properly take care of them. 2. Get caught up in illegal activity and then serve years on probation or in prison. 3. Choose jobs or career paths that they hate or work in environments where they feel undervalued. 4. Go away to college for 1 or 2 semesters, then drop out and come back home. Most of these students then fall into one or more of the first 3 categories, or potentially get killed. Trust me when I tell you that I am not making these things up. Seeing this reality is why I am so passionate about always giving back my time, energy, and encouraging words to current high school students. It pains me to see so many of my former classmates, teammates, friends, and other people I know who are now in jail for drug possession, robbery, or murder. They chose high-risk methods just to get quick cash, but now they are paying hefty prices for their actions. I promise whoever reads this that nothing is worth giving your life away. Anyone can argue that crime is a product of desperation, but everyone has choices to make. We have been programmed to think that going to jail is normal, acceptable, and quote-unquote cool. It is not. I know many former inmates who now wish they did not have a record because of how it still negatively affects their lives. Most schools and jobs require a background check. Once someone is charged with a felony or certain misdemeanors, it limits their options for employment, volunteering, or even attending field trips with their children. In this same speech, I explained to them my daily schedule and how most days were packed with class, track practice, physical therapy, eating, studying, and meeting with classmates for group projects. I then told them that in order to create the futures they desire, ignorance is no longer an excuse because of their access to information. With all of the technology in their pockets or hands, not getting the answers they need is their own fault. There are many athletes in high school seeking to play their sports at the next level and are waiting for a college coach to send them a letter or come knocking at their door. I advise every student athlete to be courageous and recognize their power to take the necessary steps to be a part of their own rescue. The advice I gave was, stop waiting for college coaches to contact you first. At my high school state track meet during my senior year, I won medals in 2 events, long jump and high jump. These top 8 finishes marked the end of my high school athletic career, but I was still on the journey to becoming a college athlete. The meet was on a Saturday, and on the following Monday, I called and emailed multiple college coaches. I did not wait, cross my fingers, and hope they found me. I went to find them first. How did I reach out to these coaches? Google on my phone and laptop. I logically searched for the college's website, found its athletics page, found the coach's information, and then used it to contact them. Simple. This list of colleges includes the University of Cincinnati, Xavier University, Miami University, the University of Akron, and Kent State University. My advice now would be to reach out to more colleges than I did and to broaden your horizon to include different states and divisions. I had just won 2 medals at the state championships, won Conference Athlete of the Year, and graduated in the top 10 of my class with a 3.7 GPA. That is music to the ears of any college coach, and I leveraged these achievements so they would take me seriously. I called multiple coaches. None of them answered the phone, but I did not let that stop me. I left each of them a voicemail with my introduction and contact information. After listening to my voicemail, Chad Reynolds, the track coach at Miami University, was the first coach to reply. He immediately called me back to schedule a potential campus visit. I also sent emails. This is the actual email message I sent to each coach individually. Hi, Coach. I am Kenny Glenn from Cincinnati Mount Healthy High School, and I compete in the events of high jump and long jump. I am contacting you to find out if there are any spots left or scholarships available on the track team. I made it to state in both events and made it to the podium in both. Please contact me back via this email or call me at the number below. Thank you. I now understand how to send better emails, but this was pretty good for a 16-year-old kid at the time. I told my audience, and I am telling whoever reads this, that you can find the answers to almost any question by simply using resources like Google and YouTube. Just be sure to avoid unreliable or inauthentic sources and learn to identify verified accounts. Most students and graduates waste an unnecessary amount of time scrolling on social media to see what their friends and celebrities are doing, listening to new gossip, or look at nonsense. Now that you are aware, always remember that this behavior is unproductive and will not get you closer to living the life you want. Use your phone and social media to your advantage to achieve your goals. Social media has made it possible to access and question almost anyone. This reality means that high school athletes can use it to direct message college coaches and athletes. I am using many athletic examples, but you can find ways to apply this to your life if you do not participate in sports. If you seek mentorship or guidance from anyone, use this same mindset shift. Dear Kenny, be courageous and do what is necessary to achieve your goals. Conducting 15 minutes of research to gather contact information and then send messages to coaches could bring you $150,000 in scholarships. How hard is it for any student athlete to make a list of 10 to 15 schools and find the coaches' email addresses, find their phone numbers and social media pages? How hard is it to introduce themselves and present their GPA, statistics, highlight film, and questions via phone call, email, or direct message? You might think, what if they don't reply? In that case, you are no worse off than you were before you sent them a message. But if they do reply, that could change your life and those around you for the better. All it takes is one. You only need one reply and one person to provide the necessary opportunity and resources. Sincerely, Kenny Glenn, success coach and entrepreneur. Who was in the audience when I gave this speech at my alma mater high school in 2016? The following students who would become overachievers were in attendance. Naja Glenn, salutatorian and two-time graduate of the Ohio State University. Trayvon Wilburn, NCAA Division I football team walk-on and graduate of the Ohio State University. TJ Elliott, NCAA Division II track and field national champion while attending Ashland University and University of Cincinnati graduate. CJ Rhodes, NCAA Division I basketball walk-on at Ohio University, University of Cincinnati graduate, and current professional basketball player. Brian Cook, NCAA Division I football All-American, University of Cincinnati graduate, and second-round NFL draft pick for the Kansas City Chiefs. Rob Corbin, NCAA Division II football player and graduate of Central State University. 5 and 6 years after I gave that speech, all of the students listed above had become college graduates. Even if they did not stay at their first schools of choice, and even if some had to return home for a while, they finished what they started. These students have assured me that I am a member of their mental hall of fame. Without me realizing it, this speech was the start of me continually speaking to and inspiring current high school students in public and private settings. It was the crux of this book. On the same day as this speech, as I was exiting the building, I took a picture of the Mount Healthy Athletic Hall of Fame on Snapchat and captioned it with, "I'm on my way." That was me speaking my dream into existence and then manifesting it through my actions. I had always dreamed of being an unforgettable legend in the eyes of my peers, teachers, coaches, and administrators. A way of achieving this would be my induction into the Mount Healthy Athletic Hall of Fame. I accomplished this goal when I was officially inducted on January 17th, 2020.